going to give it a minute and let everybody kind of come in that I want to view whatever I have to talk about, which after being away for over a week, that could be a lot of stuff that I would be missing because so much happens every day that it's impossible to keep up with everything. So, hey, dang, 250 already. All right, hey guys. Yeah, so I just came back to North Dakota last night after being in Atlanta for a week. Went back home after 3 months to catch up with some friends and put all my belongings in storage so I can focus on this and focus on the mission of killing this pipeline and helping where I can. So now I guess Atlanta's it'll always be my home, but I no longer live there, I guess. So I guess I live here, and I don't mind. How are you guys doing? It's been a while since I did a live update, so I thought I'd come and check in. North Dakota's still cold. It's currently, like -1 or something like that. Coming from Atlanta where it was 70, it was a nice change. I've had a permanent runny nose since I came back, so hopefully in the next couple of days that'll clear up. So I spent today and yesterday trying to catch up on some news of what's going on at camp because every day here so much happens that it's impossible to keep up with everything right away. So I just wanted to kind of, get filled in on and touch base with you guys and do another one of these videos because I haven't done one in a long time. So like I say, before I go into any of these videos, I only speak for myself. I don't represent the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. I don't represent any of the camps, any of the leaders. I'm just an ally here that's trying to support the cause, fight for indigenous rights, protect Mother Earth, and kill a pipeline. So that's what I'm here for. Also defend civil and human rights, which are grossly out of line here in good old sunny North Dakota, where the population is 90% white, I believe. And they don't have an ethics committee, and that's kind of just how they roll here. So I'm just going to kind of touch on some things that I've picked up over the last day or so, and hopefully I can give you guys a little bit of my personal insight of what's going on, and take it or leave it. It's nothing professional. I'm not a professional journalist. I know a lot of people have been asking why I haven't been shooting a lot of photos lately, and well, I came here to help where I'm needed. Although when I originally came, I came to shoot photos. If there's ever an action, stuff like that, I'll be there to help where I can. But right now I'm needed in helping making sure the Shetty-Shikoe camp can do their media stuff. So I spend a lot of time kind of holding space in their office so they can go out in the field and shoot. And so they can cover for their camp. Also, a couple times I've been also working with the emergency shelter out here during the blizzards to make sure that there's people here in case there's a blizzard and people need a place to stay. Just trying to help out where I'm needed, not necessarily just where I want to be. So I think, I'm happy to do whatever I can to help the cause in general, not necessarily get awesome photos. I didn't come here to do that. Although I do enjoy doing that if I can. Okay, I'm just going to kind of run through a list of things that I personally want to touch on. Earlier today I watched a video from Dallas Goldtooth, so if you get done with this, you should go check that out. He had a really good insights on things that were going on as well. So go check out Dallas Goldtooth's last live video, and he can fill you in on all his stuff as well. Yesterday at a tribal meeting, Shetty-Shikoe camp is moving. It will be leaving the location that it's at now. It's not because they're trying to give up the land, they're trying to give up sovereign territory. It's because where Shetty-Shikoe camp is right now is in the middle of a floodplain. And to protect everybody who's there and make sure that when and if it does flood, that all the stuff that's on camp doesn't get washed downstream, and everybody's safe. This year so far, Bismarck has had 53.1 inches of snow, which is a record, and it beat 1993-94's record of 49.3. So when all that snow starts melting and all that stuff, there's going to be a lot of flooding. So the chances of the land where Shetty-Shikoe is right now flooding is pretty safe to say it's going to happen. So We looked at some maps. We had maps actually in the office last night. We were looking at it, and people were like, "Well, where's the camp at?" Camp happens to be located where it said lake in Lake Oahe. So camp is starting to move. They're starting to prepare for the winter camp. The Horn decided that it was time to move, so they'll be moving first, and then the rest of the camp will follow suit. It's probably going to take a while to get the whole camp out and cleaned up, so they're going to start making that move now, because the plan is to have it back to where it should be before the waters start coming in, both for the safety of the people and protecting land as well. So that's what's happening with the Shetty-Shikoe. It's not that they're trying to shut the camp down, it's just for the safety of people at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to, and that's really important. Anybody who says otherwise and isn't worried about the safety, I don't know what to tell you. A personal question I've always had is back in December when the vets came, as you all know, the easement was denied. Okay? So if the easement is denied for DAPL to go underneath the Missouri River, and they're still up there doing whatever they're doing, I want to know if anybody can explain to me why Morton County is still out there defending them and not letting water protectors go up there and see what's going on, or getting any kind of answer on whether or not what's actually going on in that drill pad, since they're not supposed to be working going underneath the river. So if anybody can explain to me why the local police are still out there defending them and the National Guard is backing up the police, I would love to know that, because it seems kind of corrupt to me that that's going on. At the same time, the Army Corps of Engineers still hasn't started working on their environmental impact statement, which they said that they would like to make happen so they can start rerouting the pipeline or this or that. So it seems like everybody's stalling, and we all know that DAPL's sitting around waiting for Trump to come into office because he has investments, I think $250,000 in Dakota Access and $1 million in Phillips 66, I believe. But they're all betting on once he comes into office, he's going to push it through. Right now, the way that the military and local government's acting is that they're supporting that. So if the military or if the Army Corps of Engineers is really about stopping that, then why is local police defying their federal decision on what should take place and still standing up for the people that are committing federal crimes by this point if they're still working underneath the river? Just makes sense, right? Or something's really wrong that's not making sense. So if you guys can kind of look into that and find out what's going on, that'd be cool. Like I said, there's so much that happens that it's hard to keep up with everything. So a little help on you guys would be rad. Another thing I wanted to talk about that was discussed, I guess last week when I was in Atlanta, was the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and the funds that were donated directly to them and what they're allocating some of those funds for. Kind of like breathing hard because I'm not really good at being on camera. I usually stay behind the camera, so me talking to you guys is kind of weird, right? At least for me, so I always get nervous, even though I can't see you. Hey, whatever. So Standing Rock Sioux Tribe has been donated X amount of dollars to the tribe, okay? On top of that, there's always been donations for Shetty-Shikoe and Sacred Stone, which those funds go directly to the camps. A lot of people are upset that the tribe is using money for other things besides the camp. And what I think a lot of people miss is that there's a lot going on here besides just the camps and protecting the waters against DAPL. There's a whole community here. There's a lot of people that live on this reservation. There's a lot of things that, could use that financial help for the people that live here every day, not just necessarily the camp. Now, everybody who's made donations make a conscious decision where you want your money to go. So if you donated it to the camps, that money would go to the camps. But if you donate that money to the tribe, you've got to understand they still have to worry about their local communities. So let's say the casino, which has helped out a lot of water protectors. During the blizzards, they've opened up space for people to go if needed. Anybody who's been here has seen the lobbies filled up with people using the Wi-Fi and things like that. But at the same time, since all this has happened. I'm just using the casino as one example, right? Since this has happened, the casinos lost a lot of revenue from their business. There's not too many people that are coming to actually gamble for them to make money. So, you know, if let's say they're losing $1 million a month because they're not getting that kind of money, that affects a lot of people. A lot of people here at Standing Rock, the actual on the reservation, the actual residents that live here, might not be getting what they need because their local community is being affected by it. So, this is just my personal opinion, but you know, if you donate X amount of dollars to Standing Rock, not the camp specifically, I personally feel like you can't be that upset if they're looking after their own community as well. That's important, right? Because after we all leave, they still have to make sure that they're okay. And that should be important to everybody because we're not just here to stop the pipeline, but we're also here to watch, you know, Standing Rock thrive and hopefully other nations after this. So, you know, that's just how I feel about it. Obviously, I want to hear you guys' opinions on it. You know, I've experienced it. As soon as money gets involved, people are, oh, corrupt this and that. Oh, he's not using it for this or that. When you donate money, you want people to donate it for the best interest of what they need it for. You'd hope that nobody's stealing money and stuff like that. So do I. But you got to have faith in people. So I'd like to believe that the tribe is using that money for other things. I know some of that money is going back to the camp. It's going towards the legal fees and outdoor bathrooms and things like that. But, you know, infrastructure here. I mean, if you've never been to a reservation, sometimes they're not in the best conditions. So I wouldn't feel bad if some of the money I donated went towards making the community better as well, because that's important. Everybody deserves to live nice, right? So that's just my thought. Next up, before I left camp, I had met with a couple of the Kichita and helped give them photos of what happened on October 27th when Treaty Camp got raided, and Kyle Thompson, who was ex-Army, who was a DAPL security guard, was racing towards camp with an assault weapon. He had an AR-15 and he was driving down the road. He was coming towards camp. It was a threat towards the camp. Elderly children are at the camp, and somebody who was acting irrational was charging camp with a weapon. There's a few water protectors that took action to make sure that he didn't reach camp. A couple of them kept him from getting back on the road when he drove off the road and almost hit water protectors. They used their vehicles to stop him from getting back on the road. Once he couldn't get on the road, he backed out with an AR-15, which is it looks like a machine gun. And he backed into the water, and there's a whole kind of calming down, or what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry. There's a couple water protectors that were out there that were trying to ease the tension of the situation until the police showed up. Once the police showed up, BIA rather, they arrested him. Once I was told that he was turned over to the FBI, who turned him over to Morton County, who released him. I know he was released that day because he came on my page and started commenting about, oh, well, that's true, but, you know, he actually said if he was going to kill people, people would be dead, right? So that was his defense, right? What kind of defense is that? But just so everybody's clear, I haven't heard of him being charged with any crimes. He may be getting charged with crimes, but I haven't heard of anything. As far as I know, he was let off with no charges, anything like that. Morton County tried to say that he was fleeing the scene because he was shot in the hand. I proved with photos that I had that was actually a lie. They retracted their statement. I haven't seen any charges that he's being charged with for riding around with an assault weapon. What I can tell you is that the two people that kept him off the road and getting to camp are being charged with felonies for using their vehicles to keep him off the road. I can tell you that one of the water protectors that was down there that actually de-escalated the situation from a guy who had a weapon, who had a buck knife in his back pocket, is being charged with felony terrorizing because he brought a knife to a gunfight. Not even necessarily pulled it out. He just had a knife at a gunfight, and they're charging the guy who had the knife with felony terrorizing, but you're not hearing anything about Kyle Thompson, the guy with a weapon that's made to kill people, being charged with anything. So I hope maybe some of you guys can find out some information on it. As far as how I feel is that it's corrupt as shit. So if you guys happen to have any more information, that would be rad. But, I don't really, from what I've seen out here, I have no faith in the local law enforcement. I've seen how they've treated water protectors. I've seen how they've treated natives. So without a doubt, they are racist, and they're happy to be racist and bought off. And so hopefully you guys can help with that. On the flip side of that, there's also a lot of issues going on with water protectors that have been arrested. Over 550, I believe, over 550 at this to the date have been arrested. There's a lot of issues going on with courts. We're still waiting on a decision on whether or not the Supreme Court in North Dakota is going to allow out-of-state attorneys to come in and represent some of these water protectors, because there are not enough local public defenders to help. And the ones that are here, some of them have oil money in them, so you can't really trust them, right? So the legal team are trying to get the Supreme Court to allow out-of-state representation of some of these water protectors. That has still not been decided upon by the local courts, and from what I've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if they just delay it. But what I can tell you is that there's a lot of issues that are going on where water protectors are trying to go to court, and they're postponing their case, and a lot of these people are from out of state. So they'll travel all the way to North Dakota for their court case, all the way up until the last minute when their court case is supposed to start, and then they postpone it. And then they postpone it for a month or 2 weeks later. So now these water protectors have to go home and then spend money and funds to come all the way back and back and forth and back and forth. And this is happening to a lot of people. One of the theories is that this is how the local government is trying to just keep draining people of money, which, a lot of people don't have a lot of money, especially that kind of stuff. I mean, there's so much that's going to go into this in the first place that people are risking their lives to protect water and sovereign indigenous rights. And on top of having to worry about going to jail, now I have to worry about losing any money they have just trying to get an answer on it. It's ridiculous on what's happening with that. So there's some court cases coming up pretty soon. Free Red Fawn, by the way. She's falsely accused of what's going on with that. I am going to help and do my part to raise a little bit of money, but for her legal defense, just keep her in your thoughts and help out if you can. Every Friday wear red for Red Shirt or Red Fawn Fridays. There's also shirts that were designed by her niece that the proceeds from that shirt go to. I'll post up a link. The proceeds from that shirt go towards her legal defense. I don't want you thinking we forgot about you, Red Fawn. We're out here for you. So, I'm going to spend the next couple days trying to catch up on what's going on. Hopefully I can get out. I can go shoot some photos. I'd love to be able to show you guys some new stuff. Just really haven't had the time. I've just kind of been, trying to focus on what I'm needed for, and it's not always shooting photos and getting out there. It's sometimes it's sitting in a room with no windows for days at a time, and people are, right, you're up in a room where it's warm and there's Wi-Fi. I'd rather be in camp. I'd rather be down there with the people, but up here there has to be people that are here in case there's an emergency. So we want to make sure that everybody's safe, and right now that's where we need to be. So that's where I am. I definitely didn't quit my job and give up my house to sit in a room with no windows, but that's what I'm willing to do. I'm here to help any way I can. So, that's about it. I had, like I spoken about before when I was back at home, I did leave my job. I did give up my house. I plan on doing this for the next couple of years. This page, after a couple of my photos went viral, I hit 250,000 people. I wasn't expecting that. I just came out here to help. So now that that's happened, I want to use that to be able to help more. So I am selling some of my prints, and that money is going to be used towards, over the next year, I want to be able to take this page that has 250,000 people and hand that platform off to indigenous voices. I don't want to be doing this. I'd rather just take photos. I don't want to try to pretend like I'm a journalist or anything like that. So my goal is to go and help other people and go to these other resistances and work with other people and be able to have people from different issues be able to update directly to the page themselves, indigenous voices. So yeah, as an ally, that's the best gift I can give. You know, I want to be able to hand this platform over to people that can speak for indigenous tribes. So that's really what my goal is. So I know I explained it a couple times, but you know, it's easier to talk about it face to face or whatever you call this. So that's what I'm doing. I do have prints for sale. Some of that money is going to be used to help keep me alive while I go travel. I mean, obviously I need food and supplies and things like that. But the other goal is to go to these places, find people that are really interested in learning, and really involved with what's taking place at that resistance or, you know, protection, whatever you want to call it, and be able to give them the equipment to update themselves, and at each place be able to give somebody an editor's spot on this page so they can update from the ground. So you don't have to hear third-party information from some guy in Indiana that's not here from hearing about what he heard some guy say on the internet. And now that's true, because I can tell you, being here, there's rumors that fly all over the place that aren't true. So the best source is on the ground. So I want to be able to. He's from Indiana. I want to be able to make that possible, and I feel like that's the best gift I can give. So I'm not trying to plug that. I'm not trying to plug myself. I didn't know it was going to happen, but now it's there, so I want to be able to give that gift. So if you guys get a chance, I am selling some of those prints. That's what it's going towards. Also, some of those funds are going to be coming back to this camp. Some of those funds are also going to be going towards Red Fawn's legal defense. So if you guys get a chance, check that out. I have a link at the top of my page, I believe. Give me a few weeks to try to get those photos out to you, because I am here. There's always something going on. So what's going to happen is I'll get the prints in, I'll sign them, then I'll ship them off to everybody. They'll all be numbered and stuff like that. But just wanted to say hello, and glad to be back at Standing Rock, and thank you guys for all your support, and you guys have been really awesome. So appreciate all of you guys have had for me. Definitely, you know, sometimes it's not easy being an ally, but you guys have always kept me through it. So thank you a lot, and love you guys, and I'll speak to you soon. So from Standing Rock to wherever you are, peace, be the resistance, and let's kill a pipeline. Bye.